The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection for receptacles installed in specific locations to enhance electrical safety and mitigate the risk of electric shock. Regarding receptacles near hose bibs, the NEC generally requires GFCI protection. This requirement is primarily based on the increased risk of electric shock when using electrical equipment outdoors, particularly in damp or wet locations. The presence of a hose bib introduces water, which significantly enhances the conductivity of electricity, thereby increasing the potential for electric shock. Therefore, any 125 volts, 15 amps or 20 amps receptacle that is readily accessible and located outdoors must be GFCI protected. This requirement helps to protect individuals from dangerous electrical faults. The NEC defines readily accessible as capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections, without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to climb over or remove obstacles or resort to portable ladders, and so forth. The GFCI functions by continuously monitoring the current flowing through a circuit. If it detects an imbalance between the outgoing and returning current, which indicates that current is leaking to ground, it quickly interrupts the circuit. This interruption happens within milliseconds, significantly reducing the duration of a potential electric shock and minimizing the risk of serious injury or death. The typical threshold for a GFCI trip is 5 mA, which is far below the level that would cause significant harm. Several sections of the NEC address GFCI protection for outdoor receptacles. Section 210.8. It generally requires GFCI protection for 125 volts through 250 volts receptacles supplied by single-phase branch circuits rated 150 volts or less to ground, 50 amps or less, and all receptacles supplied by three-phase branch circuits rated 150 volts or less to ground, 50 amps or less in a dwelling unit. These receptacles must be installed in locations including bathrooms, garages, outdoors, crawl spaces, unfinished basements, kitchens, sinks, boathouses, bathtubs and shower stalls. Section 210.8. B expands on this requirement, mandating GFCI protection for receptacles installed in other than dwelling units. Specifically, this section requires GFCI protection for 125 volts through 250 volts receptacles supplied by single-phase branch circuits rated 150 volts or less to ground, 50 amps or less, and all receptacles supplied by three-phase branch circuits rated 150 volts or less to ground, 50 amps or less in damp or wet locations, and for receptacles located within 6 feet of the outside edge of a sink. Therefore, if a receptacle near a hose bib is located outdoors and is readily accessible, it must have GFCI protection to comply with the NEC. This requirement applies whether the receptacle is used for powering tools, holiday lights, or other outdoor equipment. The type of GFCI protection can be provided in several ways. Firstly, a GFCI receptacle can be installed directly at the outlet location, replacing the standard receptacle. This type of GFCI receptacle has test and reset buttons on its face, allowing for easy testing and resetting of the device. Secondly, a GFCI circuit breaker can be installed in the electrical panel. This breaker protects the entire branch circuit, including all receptacles connected to it. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI circuit breaker trips, cutting off power to the entire circuit. Thirdly, a feed-through GFCI receptacle can be installed. This device protects not only the receptacle itself, but also any downstream receptacles connected to the same circuit. This approach is useful for protecting multiple receptacles in a series from a single GFCI device. It is essential to regularly test GFCI receptacles and circuit breakers to ensure they are functioning correctly. The test button should be pressed monthly to verify that the device trips and interrupts the circuit. If the GFCI does not trip when the test button is pressed, it should be replaced immediately. In addition to the NEC requirements, local codes and regulations may have additional requirements for GFCI protection. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. This ensures that the electrical installation is safe and meets all required standards. Proper installation of GFCI protection is crucial for preventing electrical shocks and ensuring the safety of individuals using outdoor receptacles. Ignoring this requirement can lead to serious injury or death. Therefore, it is essential to prioritize GFCI protection for all outdoor receptacles, especially those near hose, bibs, or other sources of water. By adhering to the NEC guidelines and local codes, electrical systems can be made safer and more reliable. Furthermore, understanding the principles behind GFCI protection helps to promote a culture of electrical safety. Electricians, homeowners, and other stakeholders should be aware of the risks associated with electrical hazards and take appropriate measures to mitigate those risks. This includes regularly inspecting electrical systems, replacing damaged components, and ensuring that all electrical work is performed by qualified professionals. In summary, the NEC mandates GFCI protection for outdoor receptacles, particularly those near hose bibs, to reduce the risk of electric shock. This protection can be provided through GFCI receptacles, GFCI circuit breakers, or feed-through GFCI devices. Regular testing and maintenance are essential to ensure that GFCI devices are functioning correctly. Compliance with the NEC and local codes is crucial for ensuring electrical safety and preventing accidents. By following these guidelines, electrical systems can be made safer and more reliable, protecting individuals from potential harm.